I think this may just be the most romantic cabin that I've ever stayed at. Today we are at this A-frame about 3 hours outside of Florianópolis, Brazil. And I would say this cabin, it's not just about the home itself, it's also about the experience. I met the hosts, it's a family-run business and they're super sweet. They put together this huge romantic package for my girlfriend and I. It's safe to say I've definitely scored some extra boyfriend points. They had this massive charcuterie board and the fireplace already going when we first entered. And then in the top floor, they had this whole hot tub and bed setup. So if you're looking for a spot to come with your significant other in Brazil, I highly suggest this spot. They're also on a farm. I'm staring at 2 horses right now as I'm speaking to you. It's just a really great experience that I cannot recommend more highly. So without further ado, guys, let's now go and start the full tour. Let's go and check out this romantic A-frame cabin in Brazil. We'll start at the edge of the property. You can already see some of the animals frolicking around, and the cabin sits perched on top of a hill. The hosts also leave behind 2 bikes for you to take around the property, which is a nice add-on. And for the cabin exterior itself, it's a cool combination of both wood and stone. Let's go and see the other side of the A-frame now. There's this long, gorgeous stone pathway that leads down to this fire pit area. The hosts leave behind a ton of firewood for you, so I started a fire and my girlfriend and I just hung out here later in the day. One of the other best features, of course, is this massive swing, so you can just sit here and take in all of the mountain views. Next, let's go back a little bit towards the entrance to this enclosed area. One of my favorite parts of this Airbnb is all of the animals that you have the chance to interact with. There are these 2 beautiful horses that we were able to take out later for a ride, and they're outside right next to the cabin pretty much at all times. Even when I woke up at sunrise, they were still there. And I'm a huge dog person, so there's also a very friendly dog called Loki. Finally, before we head inside, I'll briefly show off more of the surrounding area. It's quite rural, but there are a lot of towns that you can drive to, and we're about 2 hours away from the main city of Florianópolis. But let's now go and see the interior. Let's start first in the kitchen. You have a nice selection of beverages up top, then all of your key appliances, ranging from your stovetop and oven to your microwave, fridge, and freezer. This is then your dining table, and the host left behind a welcome rose. Now, in the living room, this is where it starts to get very romantic. You can find by far the best assortment of food that I've ever had left behind for me at an Airbnb. You have everything, ranging from Nutella and fruits to juices, little toasts, meats, and cheeses, all with an impeccable presentation. Behind that, there is a guitar and a fireplace, and the fire was already going when we came into the cabin for the first time. In the far corner, you can find your entertainment setup. There's a very large smart TV on the wall. Through this door, there's an outdoor deck, and you can then find this simple couch that makes up the other side of the living room. The next morning, they also gave us a breakfast basket. These guys really have their food dialed in. The last room on the bottom floor is your bathroom. It's pretty simple and very black and white. You can find your shower here and then your rectangular bathroom sink along with a few other decorations. But now if we look up the stairs, you can see some horse art. Let's now go to the top floor. The top floor houses the master bedroom, and there was another romantic setup when we first entered, made up of different flowers, cookies, and they made these towels to look like swans. I've always wondered how it's possible to do towel art like that. And if you look up top, there is another hanging smart TV. Next, in this far corner, the romantic part continues. There is your jacuzzi area, and there are a bunch of rose petals that are scattered around, two bathrobes, and even some heart-shaped balloons. But in particular, I actually really loved the hanging light fixtures that were used with a bit of rope. In this other corner, there's also a shower head if you need. And finally, on this floor, there's an extra mattress in case maybe a family is staying. Okay, so this should be interesting. We are about to go and take the horses out on a little horseback ride. I have never ridden a horse in my entire life, so hopefully I don't fall off and break a bone. Wish me luck. Let's see how this goes. Now, here are the hosts, Jessica and Fabricio. They are siblings, and later their mother, Alzila, took us out on horses for the first time. She was telling us she rides constantly, so I felt very comfortable with her because, to be honest, I was a little nervous at first because not only was I trying not to fall off the horse, but I was also focused on my drone, getting a lot of the shots that you see here and trying not to crash it. So please give the video a thumbs up and A for effort here. It was tough to get all of this footage, but eventually they led us down to this completely private and really beautiful waterfall. And just look at how she gets the horse up. It was really incredible. This is definitely an experience that I will remember for the rest of my life. Thanks for watching, guys. All booking details are down in the video description, and I will see you very soon for another Airbnb tour.